make it a brighter place. It'll take creation, imagination. Try to draw outside the line. Let us see inside your mind. You'll find inspiration. All I'm saying is you can do it. I wanna hear you say, I am independent. I am dedicated. Doing it my way, doing it my way. Yes, I am.
Hi everyone, it's Vicky here from Crafty Heaven. Thank you very much for joining me today. And today's project, I'm going to be showing you how I made this mini album, and this is for myself. I turned 30 a couple of years ago now, and I wanted to make a mini album to store all my birthday party pictures in, and I never got round to doing it, so I thought now would be the best time to do it. Better late than never, hey? So yeah, so this is the album, and it is using Soft Sky cardstock, Foil Frenzy Designer Series paper, and also the number of years stamp set for the number 30 on the front. And I've also used the Stitch Shapes framelets for the front here as well. So as you can see, it is closed with a belly band, and it just slides off like this, and you open it up and it has this waterfall photo mat. And I added some ribbon just to keep them closed, because I didn't want the more to fall every time I go and close it, because that would just be annoying. So I've added some ribbon and tied the bows, so they just open up like this. I'm not going to open this one because it's exactly the same as this, obviously with different pictures. And each card slides out, and they are 3x3 cards, and it holds, this mini album holds 40 photos that measure 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. So as you can see, they are the card is full of photos, and they just slide in like that. And then we have this one that just slides out. So as you can see, this was my 30th birthday party. If you check out my YouTube channel further down, there is actually a video of my 30th birthday. Yeah, so this is, they just, all the cards just slot in, and there's 5 cards on each side, and they just stagger together like this. And I just love it how they, I just love the finished result. And like I said, I've not embellished it or anything like that, because I wanted it to be quite simple and just have the main focus was my photos. So yeah, so if you want to know how to make this mini album, then stay tuned, and let's get to make this album. We're going to start off by making the photo mat holder, and I have one here to show you. Okay, so this is what the holder looks like, and the 3x3 cards just slot in like so. Okay, and we're also going to be doing these stoppers, which are going to be on the back, and they are to stop your cards from going all the way down to where you made that cut mark. Okay, it stops them so they have them peeking out, and they layer together nicely. Okay, so you're going to need 2 pieces of Soft Sky cardstock that measures 9.5 inches by 5 1/4, and we're going to score the both pieces on all 4 sides at 1/2 inch and 1 inch. Turn it 1/2 inch and 1 inch. Same again. Whoops. if you find that you're going to jump when you're scoring, it doesn't matter, because that piece, this piece here where I jumped the track, is going to get covered up anyway, so you won't see it. Okay, so that's that part done. Then for the stoppers, I have done these ones already. Okay, so you will need, let me just open these up because there's one that's smaller than the rest. So let me just find where that one is. So it's that one. So you're going to need 8 pieces that measure, again in soft sky cardstock, that measure 4.5 inches by 1 1/8 of an inch, and you'll need 8 of them. Then you'll need 2 that measure 4 1/8 by 1 1/8, and you're going to score all of them along the longer side at 1 inch. Okay, so even for the 2 smaller ones that are 4 1/8 by 1 1/8, you're still going to score them at 1 inch on the 4 1/8 of an inch side. Okay, so the 4.5 inches by 1 1/8, you'll score that at 1 inch along the 4.5 inch side. Okay, so then that is all the scoring all done. So before we fold and burnish on these score lines, we actually want to do some cutting in this center part here. So the easiest way I found is we need to, along the long side, which is the 9.5 inch side, we need to cut the first cut mark at the 3 inch mark from this this second score line here. Okay, so what I found easiest is to fold on this score line here. Okay, so I'm going to fold on that score line and just crease that with my bone folder. Okay, and then I can line up this fold, okay, at the, not the 3 inch, sorry, at the 2 3/4 inch mark. So I can line this fold here at the 2 3/4 inch mark. Okay, so let me double check that before I yes. Okay, so again, line this fold up at the 2 3/4 inch mark, and what we're going to do is we're going to line up your blade. Okay, and we're going to start cutting from this first score line here to this first score line here. So you see here on your paper trimmer, on this blade you have this notch. Okay, and it's so much easier when you have a blade with this little notch here, because you can line it up with that score line. So I'm going to line it up on that score line, and we're going to cut it down to this first score line here. Okay, so hopefully I can do it looking over the camera. So again, you're just lining up this notch with this first score line here. Okay, so then you've made this slit. Okay, then we need to make 4 more cuts about 1 inch apart. So if you line up this at 2 3/4 again, just move this part here 1 inch along. So we're going to move this to 3 3/4 of an inch. Again, line that notch up on that score line, and then cut down to that first score line. Okay, and I've not cut further down, so just a little bit more. There we go. So can you see? Again, we're going to move this over about 1 inch, so we need to move it to 4 3/4 of an inch and make another cut. Okay, again we need 2 more, so we're going to move over to 5 3/4 of an inch and make another cut like so. And then the last one, I just need to move out the extended arm, and we're going to line this one up at the 6 3/4 inch mark and make our last cut. Okay, so then that's what that looks like. So now we can go ahead and fold and burnish on our score line. So we're going to get our bone folder and we need to give it all a good crease. Okay, on all those score lines. And don't worry if your little cut marks go over slightly, because you're not really going to see them. Okay, so I nearly forgot. So when you're doing your folding and burnish, you need to fold over on the first score line, and then the second one we need to fold back on ourselves. Okay, so it needs to be a valley. Okay, do the same this side. So fold over, and then this one here, fold back on itself. Like so. Again, do the same this side. And fold back on itself. Okay, so then two sides should look like that, and then obviously the other side will look the same as well. So now what we need to do is, you'll see here in each corner you have these 4 squares. You're going to cut them off completely. Like so. Okay, and then we need to do a little slit. Okay, so on this one here we're going to cut up on that score line about 1/2 inch, like so. Okay, so you only need to do it on one of these, you don't need to do them on both, just one. Then you're going to turn it to the opposite side and again cut off those 4 squares. And fit it in the camera. Okay, and I want the, let me show you here, I want these triangle points to face the same way as each other. Okay, so I'm going to cut my slits in the same place as I did on this one here. Okay, hopefully that made sense. Again, cut up there about 1/2 inch. Come to this side, cut off those 4 squares. Like so, and then cut up about 1/2 inch. So I've actually made my slits on the smaller section on both sides. Okay, so I'm going to cut this one off, and again I'm going to cut up about 1/2 inch there. Okay, so now we're going to start gluing this section together. So where we've made the slit, we're going to basically slot these 2 pieces together. So the easiest way I found was to fold this part here, and then just, it's a bit tricky to explain it actually. I'm going to, let me have a look, fold this part down and then push that in there like so into that slit, and then attach them like that. So we're going to glue these 2 pieces here, and then it will look like that. Okay, So I'm going to add some glue to this section here. It's quite difficult to explain on camera. Come on, glue, won't you come? And then glue that on, like so. So then it will look like, oh, obviously let it set for a few seconds, but it will look like that, okay? And you also, if you find that it's wanting, you know, it's bulking up here, just lay it flat when you press it down to glue it, okay? So then that way it all stays nice and flat. So again, we're going to push, so we're going to fold this section together like that, and then we're going to slot it. See if I can show you here. We're going to slot it in that cut and then join them together like so. So we're going to add the glue on this loose piece here, okay? So let me just open that up. Get some glue in there. And like I said, just lay it all flat, and then that will keep it, when you press it down, then that will keep it all nice and flat. Okay, so then that's what that should look like. So you're going to do the same this side, and I'll show you one more time. So this section here that's not got the slit, fold that up, okay? Push this part here where my nail is, push that in, and then you're going to slot it. Doing this at a funny angle is not the easiest. Okay, hold on. You're going to slot it in like that, and then obviously pull that one over and fold it upwards. Like so. Okay. Let me just do this side. And then that should hopefully all line up nicely like that. Okay, so then you're going to glue those ones down, and then I'll be back. When you've glued that, just go over with your bone folder. Okay, and then that is what that looks like. So I'll just show you here. Okay, that's what that side looks like. This side, and then this side. And what this does, it gives it a bit of dimension. So you can see here there's some extra room for the photo mats to all slot in, because once you've got all those photo mats in, it will make it quite bulky. So that's why we need a bit of room in there. Okay, so I hope that's you know, you're able to understand putting that part together. So now I'm just deciding if I want to do the photo stoppers first, which I think I will. So we're going to turn it over to the back, and we're going to get the 4 larger pieces, which are the 4.5 by 1 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so just let me so that's the 4.5, that's the 4 1/8. So I'm going to put the smallest one to the side because we need that one last. So we're going to get these ones first, and you're going to fold it over on that 1 inch score line. Okay, so for the first piece, we're going to, the easiest way I found was to line up this edge here with the second cut mark. Okay, so we have the first one here, and then we've got the second one, and you obviously want to make sure this is all central. We need to make sure that this fold is going to tuck under there just slightly, but if you tuck it in and then glue it down, it's going to be, you're going to end up getting it in the wrong place. So this is why I say to line up this edge and line it up with that cut mark. Okay, obviously you don't want to go over it, you just want to line it up just before that cut mark. Okay, and then we can obviously, when you add your glue, you're going to tuck this bit in whilst you've got your finger on the top there, tucked in, and then press it down, and then that way you know that the stopper is going to be in the right place. Okay, so we're going to add the glue to this 1 inch part here. Okay, and then again, like I said, line it up with that second cut mark, and you want to make sure that this piece is central, so you want to have about 1/2 inch on either side here. Okay, and then once you're happy, just tuck that in like so and press it down. Okay, and then we need to add some glue to the inside part here. So I'm going to turn that over, just add a bit of, if my glue wants to work, bit of glue there, and then stick that one down. Okay, and then I'll just get a photo mat to show you. When you line this in, okay, I want it to have about 1/2 inch here. So you've got about 1/2 inch here, and then when you open it up, there's about 1/2 inch showing here. Okay, so that's the first one done. The second one, again, we're going to add some glue to the bottom. And then also we're going to add some glue on the opposite side on the top. Okay, and this time we want to line this edge up with this third one here. And obviously you want to make sure it's all lined up with that first stopper. So line it up like that. Once you're happy, press it down. And then at the top, like so. Get the next piece again, add your glue to the bottom and on the inside part here, and we're going to come up to this next cut line here. Okay, and then press that down. Okay, then we're going to get the last one of the large pieces. And we're going to line it up with this last cut line at the top. Okay, and then press that down. And then you're going to get that smaller piece, which is the 4 1/8 by 1/8 of an inch. And again, we're going to add the glue in the same places that we did on the others. Okay, and this time we need to, because there's no cut line here, we need to line this edge up on this top part here, and we want to make sure that there's about 1/8 of an inch here. Okay, so I'm just actually going to line that up on my grid mat so you won't be able to see it, and it is about 1/8 of an inch here. Okay, 1 inch here, sorry, and then at the top here there's a gap about 1/8 of an inch. Then press that down. Okay, so then that is what that looks like. So then we can, you know, when you add your photo mats, so these are from that other one, I just took them out just to show you. Obviously you'll make it a bit more neater, but I'm just showing you here. Okay, and then get the next one. Okay. Then that's what it will look like. Okay, so now we are going to add our paper to decorate it. So we're going to decorate this part now, and for this larger panel here you're going to need 2 pieces of whisper white cardstock that measure 2 5/8 by 3 inches, 2 pieces of the Foil Frenzy Designer Series paper, and they measure 2 7/8 by 2.5 inches. Okay, and then that's going to go there like so. Then you're going to need 8 pieces of whisper white cardstock that measures 7/8 of an inch by 3 inches, 8 pieces of the Foil Frenzy Designer Series paper that measures 3 1/4 by 2 7/8. And then they are going to go there, and I've done the other 3 already, so they will attach here like so. Then you're going to need 2 of these that measure 5/8 of an inch by 3 inches, and that's going to go there. And then 2 of the Foil Frenzy Designer Series paper, 1/2 inch by 2 7/8. Okay, and that's going to go there. So like I said, you need 2 of these smaller panels in the paper and the whisper white, 8 of these sections here in the whisper white and the patterned paper, and then 2 of the whisper white and 2 of the patterned paper for this section here. Okay, don't worry, I'll have all the measurements on my blog, so just sit and enjoy the video. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and attach all these pieces, and then we'll get on with the next bit. So that's what that should look like when you've done it. So, okay, so then you'll do one photo wallet, and then the second one will be exactly the same. Okay, so I want to add some ribbon here like I've done with this one, so then that way my photo mats are not going to keep you know, flapping open, and it just gives it a nice finish. So what I've done is I've used the what's it called, 1/8 of an inch gold ribbon. Okay, and I am going to add some glue just in this section here. Okay, so I'm just going to get some liquid glue, and I'm just going to put a dot of glue in the center like so, and press that in there. Okay, and I'm going to keep my finger there for a few seconds. Okay, and don't worry about the glue seeping out, because the glue will dry clear, and once it's dry, it's not going to stick to this top section here. Okay, but you just want to make sure that those 2 sections don't stick to, you know, attach together, because obviously while the glue's still wet, it will seal that bit up. But once the liquid glue's dry, it's not going to stick them together, whereas if you use a glue dot or double-sided tape, then it will keep that, you know, stuck together. So you're going to do the same this side. Again, add the glue in the center in there and add your ribbon. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and then I'll be back. There we go, so I've added my ribbon, and I don't want to move it too much until it's dry. Okay, so while that's drying, we're going to start cracking on with the photo, you know, the mini album covers. So for the covers, you're going to need 2 pieces of the thick card that you get in the 12 by 12 patterned paper stacks. It will seem flimsy at first, but once you've added your cardstock, it will make it more sturdy. So you're going to need 2 pieces that measure 3 3/8 by 7 5/8 of an inch. For the spine this piece needs to measure 5/8 of an inch by 7 5/8 of an inch. Then to cover them, you're going to need a piece of soft sky cardstock that measures 8 5/8 by 8 5/8 of an inch. So we're going to add these, okay, to the card, and you want to make sure that you leave about 1/2 inch all the way around. Okay, so I'm using my grid mat, so I'm using these lines here, and if you count up from the edge of this card here, count up 2 lines, that's 1/2 inch, and then obviously from this here, count 2 lines across, it's 1/2 inch. So just basically lining it up with those dotted lines, and you'll see it will leave about 1/2 inch here, 1/2 inch here, and 1/2 inch here. Then you're going to get the spine, and you want to leave about 1/8 of an inch gap between these 2 pieces. Okay, so just make sure that card's straight. So I'm going to leave about 1/8 of an inch like so, and then the same for this side, leave about 1/8 of an inch gap, and then about 1/2 inch on those sides as well. So you're going to stick them down, and then we'll carry on with the next part. Okay, so I've added them now. So now what you need to do is you need to go around the edge with your scoring tool, and again just make your score marks along there, and this will just make it easier for the card to fold over your covers. Like so. And then we're going to fold from the middle, and you're just going to fold them gently over, you know, just work it up and over like so, and then when that's over, press that down. Again, do the same this side, always start from the middle, and just be careful because obviously this part is quite flimsy. Okay, and then when that's over, just go over with your bone folder. I'm so impressed with Stampin' Up's cardstock for mini albums. I've done a couple of mini albums before, and I've used cardstock to cover the, you know, the chipboard covers, and I've always found that they tear, and I have had no trouble with Stampin' Up's cardstock, so I'll definitely recommend their cardstock to cover this section here. So now we're going to get some scissors, okay, and we want to just trim these corners, and again you want to leave about 1/8 of an inch between this corner here, okay. So let me just do this one here. So can you see, you want to leave a slight gap here, so then when you fold these over, it's going to give you a nice corner, and it's not going to show your chipboard, okay. So just go all the way around like so. Get rid of this rubbish. Okay, and now we want to add some glue here. So we're going to do the longer sides first, and you want to make sure you get plenty of glue on there. And also a line on the actual chipboard. Start again from the middle, fold it over, and then press it down. And just work your finger over that. Because obviously with it being liquid glue, it's going to want to pop back up again. Okay, so just keep your fingers on there. And go over it with your bone folder as well. And don't worry about any glue seeping out, because that's going to be covered up. Okay, then we're going to come to the opposite side and do the same again. So that's them stuck down. Now we need to fold these sections over, but first of all you want to get your scoring tool, and you see this overhang here, you actually want to push that in with your scoring tool, okay, or your fingernail, whichever. So like that. So then when you fold it over, okay, it's going to give you a nice corner. Okay, so do the same for this side. Fold it over, and then that's going to give you some nice corners. So then you're going to glue that down, okay, and then you go do the same this side again, tuck these in here and fold that over. So there we go. So now we need to fold these sections up here, and always, like I say, get your bone folder or your scoring tool and just gently run it along just to start it off, okay, and then like I said, if it starts lifting here, just go over it with your bone folder. Okay, and then press it down, and then just help it. Ideally you want to let your glue set really. So I'm just going to put my fingers there now, and then gently lift that over. Okay, and then again the same on this side. Start it off with your scoring tool or your bone folder, and then put your fingers there and just gently lift it. Like so. Okay, and there we go. So that's your little book done, covers done. Then to add the paper for the inside cover, you're going to need a piece of soft sky cardstock that measures 7.5 inches by 7.5, and that will lay over the top. So you want to add some glue to the back of this and then stick it down, and then we'll start folding these sections again. Okay, so I've attached that now, and again you're going to run your bone folder to find that crease to be able to fold your book up again. So again, just go along, gently just crease it, and if you find that it's lifting, again just press it with your bone folder. Okay, and then go in with your fingers. And make sure you keep pressing it down. So, and then come in with the other side. I'm just going to put my fingers there, and that bit's lifting there, so I'm going to press that down. Okay, and just keep folding it. Okay, and then so just keep folding it with your bone folder and your fingers, and then I'm going to carry on doing that, and then I'll be back. And there we go. Okay, so now we're going to add the photo holders. So my ribbon has dried now. Okay, so these are, one is going to go on this side, and then one is going to go on the opposite side. Okay, so we need to add some glue just on these edge panels here. Okay, I'm just thinking if we need to add any on the centre part here. Suppose we could do, but I don't think I'm going to risk it. I'm just going to add it on the edge, okay? So again, plenty of glue, like this, all the way around, like this, and on this bottom part here. And then we're going to line it up. Sorry, that's my daughter coming in. I'm going to line it up, and I want to leave about 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. Okay, and press that down. And you can go in with your bone folder to make sure that's all stuck down nicely. Okay, just wipe any glue seeping out. And obviously I'm keeping my hand there just to make sure that it's staying in place. Okay, and then again this side. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so that side looks like it's lifting a bit, so just go in with your bone folder and press it underneath, because obviously you want to make sure that it's all stuck down, because you don't want it lifting or anything. Okay, so then that's that side done, and then you're going to do exactly the same to this side. So there we go, I've added them both in there, and I've added some photos to one side already. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how I made the photo mats. So you're going to need, we'll just grab it here. You are going to need, just find my notes, you're going to need 10 Whisper White cardstocks that measures 3 inches by 6 inch, and along the 6 inch side you're going to score it 3 inches to make a 3 by 3 top folding card. Then you're going to get your photos, okay, and I've cut mine down to 2 7/8 by 2 7/8, and I'm going to add the first one on here, and I've cut the photos smaller, so it leaves about a 1/8 of an inch border showing. Okay, so I'll do these ones to show you, because I've done the other ones already. Okay, so that's my first picture of me and my Uncle Jonathan. Then I'm going to fold it up, and then this was my birthday cake, which is a Walk into the Woods Radley cake, because I love my Radley bags. So, and place that over the top. And then this is me cleaning up afterwards. And I'll show you the rest of the photos when we're done. Okay, and then add that one. And then I'm going to flip it over, and then this is me at the end of the night having my cup of coffee. Oh no, it's my hot chocolate, and I'm actually wearing my slippers, but obviously you can't see that. So, and then add that one there. Okay, so then these are the other ones here, and they hold, now let me just have a look, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So this mini album holds 40 photos, 40 photos that measure 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. So I want these in a particular order. So let me have a look. That one first, and that one, and then that one. So I'm going to have that slotted in there, like so. And I'm not entirely sure what, it's that way. Because I want to add something, you know, an embellishment or something here. But I'm not entirely sure what I want to do yet. So we'll work that out later. So I'm going to slot these in. Like so. Like that. And then because I don't want them flipping, you know, when you flip it over, I don't want them to do that. That's why we've added the ribbon. So we're going to add the card and paper to the front. And I've got some Whisper White cardstock here that measures 7.5 by 3 1/4. And then some patterned paper that is 7 3/8 by 3 1/8. And they are going to lay together like so, and then we're going to attach it to the front of the album. So I'm going to add the paper first, and we've got Megan joining us, so it might be a bit noisy. She's waiting patiently. Okay, so we're going to attach these two together. Like so. And then we're going to attach this to the front of the album. Okay. So I'm going to place that on the front. Hopefully that's all lined up because I can't really see. Okay, and to keep this closed, I actually want to add a belly band, so something a bit different. So I've got some soft sky cardstock, and this piece measures 10 by 1.5 inches. And all I did was just lined it up and just wrapped it around to get the creases. Help if I got it the right way. Okay, just to wrap it around like that, and you want to make sure that you don't want to fasten it too tight because obviously you still want it to slide on and off. Okay, so I just wrapped it around, and then I burnished the score marks that we'd made with a bone folder. So I'm going to attach these two together, and obviously I don't want it to be too tight, so I want to remember when I'm gluing it down to leave it a little bit loose. Okay, so I'm going to add some glue to this section here. Sorry, that's Toby barking now. Toby, shush shush. Oi. Sorry about that. And then we're going to wrap that around, and again I want to make sure it's not too tight, and press that together. Okay, and then I've cut some patterned paper that measures 3 3/8 by 1 3/8, and I'm going to place that on the front there, and don't worry about that seam showing here because we're going to cover that up. So again, add some glue. And add that to our belly band. Like so. Okay, and I just want to make sure that's going to line up. Yep, that's fine. Not line up, slide, sorry, on and off. Then I have cut an oval shape out of Whisper White with the Stitched Shapes frameless dies, and then I cut another oval out of the blue cardstock, Soft Sky, and I've double layered that just to make it a bit more thicker, and that's going to go on the front like that. Okay, so again I'm just going to add some glue, but I'm only going to add it to the middle of the belly band. And I want plenty of glue there, because you're putting glue on the foiled bit, it will it does take a little longer to stick. So I'm going to place that on there. I want to make sure that it's about even on the top and bottom. I think that looks okay, so I'm going to press that down, and then I have stamped out number 30 using the number of years stamp set, and I've heat set that with some gold embossing powder. So I'm going to place that in the center. I'm not going to press it down just yet, because I want to make sure that I get it positioned correctly. So I'm just going to lift that 3 up slightly, like so, and I think that looks about right. Maybe a little bit higher for the number 3 again. And I also added some foam tape to the back of the numbers to pop them up. So that looks about right. And then I'm going to press, actually no, that's going to irritate me. That number 3 is slightly wonky. That's better. And then I'm going to press that down. So there we go. I'm going to leave it quite simple on the front and on the inside, because this is for me, and I just want it to be quite simple, and I just want the main focus to be the photos. So yeah, I'm really pleased with how it turned out. So the belly band just slides off like this and then opens up, and you have your waterfall of pictures. So I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. Please head over to my blog where I'll have all the details for this project, and I'll leave the link for my blog and my Stampin' online store below if you want to go and check out any of the products featured in today's video. So thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you soon. Bye!